2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast. Thirty seconds till broadcast. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Fighting for freedom every day.
Let me tell you, the response to the show has been absolutely amazing. People can't believe that a young conservative millennial continues to fight for constitutional principles, traditional values, and talks about issues that some are even afraid to talk about. But we do it because we understand the importance of this. And now we're seeing it absolutely blow up all across the nation.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
You're darn right it is. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. It is a Friday, the greatest day of the entire week. I know you look forward to it each and every week because now you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Most people actually already done for the day, so welcome into the program. It's time for you to kick back, enjoy, relax just a little bit, and just process what happened throughout the week. If you have to work through the weekend, then I feel very bad for you. But hey, let's keep this ball rolling. Hey, welcome into the show, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on the flagship station, all over the country on radio, TV, live streaming, and podcasting. Doesn't matter where you're at, watching or listening, we have an opportunity for you. Really, all over the place, as we are streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, also on Parler.com and on Minds.com. Plus, we have the website up at HooserReason.com. That live stream is up and rolling there as well. So thanks for hanging out with us today. As you are planning, sitting at home, preparing for your weekend, my big question is, what are you going to be watching? Because apparently there's a lot to watch, and there is some new things out on Netflix. I'm not going to be watching it, and this is probably one of the reasons why I'll be canceling my Netflix here very soon. Not just because of the cutest things that happened way back when, but there's some new shows coming out on Hulu that I find, or not Hulu, but Netflix that I find absolutely fascinating, and wondering how they're going to handle in the ratings. Now, I have Netflix for one singular reason right now, and that is because I am in the middle of a show, and I am trying to finish the show before I can actually leave because I'm really hooked on it. So, and I got to give Netflix prop for this original. It's called The Last Kingdom. If you haven't watched it, absolutely amazing if you like kind of the medieval thing. And I'm hooked on that one. I'm in season number 3 right now. I believe there's 4 seasons, so I have to get through one more season, and then I'll be done, and we can actually cancel Netflix because then I can actually go to Hulu, and I can watch the Viking show, which is what I've been really looking forward to for a really long time. The history one, Vikings, I've yet to see it. It's been driving me nuts, and I'm ready to watch it. So, but I have to finish one medieval show to watch another medieval show. I know, I'm a dork like that. It's all right. However, according to Fox News, there is a new TV show starting up on Netflix as an original by none other than some of the co-owners of Netflix, Barack and Michelle Obama, as they're coming out with a new comedy series called The G Word. The G Word. It's expected to be loosely based on an anti-Donald Trump book that portrays the chaos that goes on in the White House during the President Donald Trump administration. Now, remember, this is the guy that said that there's no way that Donald Trump would be president of the United States. In fact, he said on Saturday Night Live, you know what, even though I may go down for the worst president in history, at least I will go down in history as a president. That's the same guy. Now, they don't like the fact that Donald Trump's done what he's done, so now they're going to create a comedy sketch as a ha-ha little jab at Donald Trump. Now, there's always those political things out there. I wish there were more of them during the Barack Obama time, because you weren't allowed to make fun of Barack Obama, or else you were just a crazy wild racist. So, but now you can behead Donald Trump. You can make different Broadway shows that actually portray the assassination of President Donald Trump. You can make fun of him. You can threaten him. You can hate him. You can call him names left and right. And now you can create a comedy series on Netflix called The G Word. And it's supposed to be on whether government is there for you or whether we should be making fun of government. Which I'm really kind of intrigued how they're going to play this off, because if they're making fun of the Donald Trump administration, but yet they're saying government is a good thing, as Barack Obama showed throughout his administration, that government's the solution, government's the answer to solve everything, just not this administration. I am kind of curious on how they're going to actually portray this. So would you watch The G Word from Barack and Michelle Obama as their new comedy series comes out on Netflix here relatively soon? I don't know when it's supposed to come out. Comedian actor Adam Conover, who partnered with the Obamas for the series, confirmed it in a newsletter in a Twitter account. Very happy to finally be able to share this news. I'm creating a new comedy series for Netflix about the federal government. It's called The G Word, and I can't wait to share it with you. It will ask whether government is a dirty word or a trusted institution. But it's supposed to be a comedy series making fun of Donald Trump. I'm not quite sure how they're going to put this together. Maybe I'll stick around on Netflix just a little bit to watch the first episode and be like, wow, that was terrible. But then at the same time, you give them ratings and things. I don't really know how that's going to work. Anyway, so hey, welcome into the show. It's a Friday. I have some hard-hitting issues today. We have some lighthearted things. Stay tuned for the last segment of the show, as there's a comedy skit that was aired. I think it's hilarious. I did not create it. Not going to take credit for this one, although I probably should have, because it was really hilarious. I should have come up with this one, but I didn't. So we'll play that coming up at the end of the show. At the bottom of the hour, Rich Higgins, he's going to be joining us. We've had him on the show before. He is an ex-National Security Committee member, and he's going to talk about some of the national security here in the nation, especially when it ties into some of the election investigations going on. Is the server with Dominion actually real? Is that something that we should be concerned about? And where do we go from here with some of the investigations? So we'll get to that here at the bottom of the hour in just a little bit. At the same time, we have Donald Trump coming out with a press conference today signing health care legislation. That was pretty exciting today.
To address this unfairness and to lower prices for Americans, we're finalizing the most favored nation rule. Remember that name, most favored nation rule. Nobody's ever done this. The drug companies don't like me too much, but we had to do it. It took a long time before we were able to do this, because statutorily we had to go through a process. But there'll never be anything like this. I just hope they keep it. I hope they have the courage to keep it, because the powerful drug lobby, Big Pharma, is putting pressure on people like you wouldn't believe. Medicare will now look at the price that other developed nations pay for their drugs, and instead of paying the highest price on the list, and we are substantially higher than any other country in the world, we will pay the lowest price. In other words, we take the lowest price and we match whatever the lowest price is, leading to colossal savings for all Americans.
Wow. All right. So while we're in the middle of an election investigation right now, he's continuously working, comes out with this press conference, holds it, signs this new deal, and has Pfizer there as well, by the way, too, to talk about some vaccines we'll get to here in just a second. But doing healthcare reform in the sense of pharmacy and big pharma. Now, I don't know if you remember all the way back when, like, I don't know, back in June or something, right? During the middle of the COVID stuff, he's on the campaign trail, he's talking to some people, and he made a comment that he has upset big pharma big time. Big Pharma is bigly mad at Donald Trump. They don't like what he's doing because he's been trying to lower pharmaceutical prices in the nation, which means that's going to be cutting into their profits. And he had made the comment, and I remember it very vividly. I don't remember the time, but he was in Ohio. I believe he was in Cleveland. He was talking to some individuals, and he said, "You may not see me in the public light for a while because I've upset some very powerful and very rich people, so I may just kind of have to hunker down and stay low for a while." And we're just all like, what? I remember that. That was almost like, are you concerned about a presidential assassination attempt here? What are you talking about, dude? And then he was he was quiet for about a week or so, and then he was back at it. But he had mentioned numerous times how he's upset Big Pharma big time, bigly. They hate him. And now this just shows it because he's been working on this for a very long time. He is, especially for Medicare and Medicaid patients, we are going to search the globe, and wherever they sell it the cheapest is the price that now Medicare and Medicaid are going to be paying for those pharmaceuticals here for patients here in America. What a crazy concept. When you have pharmaceuticals that are made here and yet charged like 10 times higher here than what they are in other parts of the world, there's a problem. And while they're getting it super duper cheap, we're paying up the what in order to get it. So we say, let's find where it's being sold the cheapest, and we're going to use that price and actually going to sell it here. Do you realize how much money that's going to save not only to the patients that may have to pay some of this out of pocket, but to our government social programs that cover these things with our taxpayer money? Now, it's just like Social Security to some degree where a lot of it, if you're on retirement or if you're on disability, you're no longer paying into the system anymore. But people that are in the taxpayer bracket, that are in the working class, that are actually working, are paying into the system to fund the people that are currently on it. You're not paying into Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security to hold it into an account for when you actually withdraw from it later on down the road. You're paying for people that are actively on it. And then when you actually get on it, then people in the working class then are going to be paying on it for you. So that's really how this is all going to unfold, is that right now our taxpayer money is going towards extremely expensive cures and medication and pharmaceuticals for individuals that are on it. And Donald Trump says, that's not going to fly anymore. We're now going to take it and make it extremely cheap, and we're going to start combating against Big Pharma. They don't like that because that's cutting into their profits, obviously, but it's going to lower the price of Medicare and Medicaid. It's going to lower the price of the cost that the program actually has to get these pharmaceuticals, and it's going to make it easier for the individuals. Donald Trump, hating the American people, hating the poor people, hating the sick people, hating the disabled people that the left always goes after him for, wanting to kill and cut Social Security to let people die in the streets. Just signed the bill to make healthcare more affordable with pharmaceutical prices here in the nation. He continued, as he did make one reference regarding the election result in the investigations, and tied it to Big Pharma.
And devoted myself to completely fighting for the American people. You see that? This is not an easy thing to do. Big Pharma ran millions of dollars of negative advertisements against me during the campaign, which I won, by the way, but, we'll find that out. Almost 74 million votes. We had Big Pharma against us. We had the media against us. We had big tech against us. We had a lot of dishonesty against us. But Big Pharma alone ran millions and millions of dollars in ads. In fact, I looked at it. I said, who is it? I've never seen anything quite like it because I told them I'm going to have to do this.
I'm going to have to do this. He's been working on this for a while, and while Big Pharma did not like him, knew what he was about to do to start reforming healthcare, while the media, Mr. President, you keep saying you're going to save people and do healthcare reform, but you haven't. I'm going to do it. Yeah, but you're trying to get rid of individual mandates. Well, no, we got rid of the individual mandate. You're trying to get rid of pre-existing conditions. No, we're going to do it with a different plan, but you got rid of it. No. See, according to them, that's the one and only way to ever protect pre-existing conditions is under Obamacare and under the government health care plan. You can't have it anywhere else, apparently, right? That's the only saving grace for pre-existing conditions, which that's not true in any way, shape, or form, but that's what they try to say. But now he's going after Big Pharma, which is not, that's good. That's awesome. We love that. We appreciate it, but that's not what Big Pharma likes, especially after an election. So, yes, they did campaign hard against him. And I just love the jab. I love the jab, which we won, by the way, this election, 74 million votes. You can't compete against that. Yeah, but Joe Biden, he got like 80 million. That's what the news said. According to the latest, what was it? I don't even remember what news source it was. Joe Biden received like 80 million votes. Barack Obama didn't even get that much, and they just kind of laughed when they had Joe Biden tag along as vice presidential candidate back in 2008 and 2012. He was just kind of the tag along. Now Joe Biden all of a sudden has way more numbers than what Barack Obama ever received. Give me a break. One of these things is not like the other. Doesn't make any sense. Why would Joe Biden receive that? But Donald Trump, legitimately, even with them trying to suppress it, received 74 million votes. We'll touch on that here in just a little bit at the bottom of the hour with Rich Higgins. But there it is. New healthcare law coming out under Donald Trump, even while he may be potentially vacating the office, still working for the people, still working to make things great, and he's lowering big pharma costs for everybody, including taxpayers who may not even utilize those programs when we are actually paying into it. Funny how that works. Looking out for the people that the media says he's not looking out for, because that's the way Donald Trump rolls. We'll continue this on a Friday. We got lots to get to today on the show. Trying to wrap up your week right here on The Voice of Reason. Stay tuned.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with The Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with The Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on The Voice of Reason and the Hoosier Media Network. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with The Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hoosier-holic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hoosier Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. For a schedule of upcoming guests on the program, daily show topics, or to reach out to the Hooser Media Network, visit us on the website at HooserReason.com. Or for general inquiries, to be a guest on the program, or to have Andy a guest on your program, email us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Keep fighting for freedom with us every day right here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the show. Thanks for hanging out with us today on a Friday, the greatest day of the entire week. It's a free-for-all Friday. You can shoot me a message on social media on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, also on Parler.com and on Minds.com as well. You can also email me, HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. You can let me know your thoughts on any topics you want me to cover, whether you like certain guests, don't like certain topics that I talk about. Although, I did find out some interesting news over the break. Here's what's trending for the day.
What's trending today?
I was not aware of this, but today is Joe Biden's birthday. Yeah, Joe, you're like getting older. You're getting up there. How you feeling, buddy? You feeling pretty good now that you're like pretending to be in the White House?
I want to be clear. I'm not going nuts.
All right. You're getting closer. You're getting closer to it. How old's he now? 78, 79? What office am I running for? Yeah, nothing against people that are, obviously older, but he obviously has some issues that he can't remember. So today's Joe Biden's birthday. I'm wondering what he did for his birthday celebration today.
Come on, man.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe he was looking forward to children rubbing his hairy legs in the pool or something. Who knows? I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. I mean, he already talked about how much he enjoyed that and then them sitting on his lap and everything too. So well done, Joe. Well done, buddy. Happy birthday to you for whatever age you are now, pretending to be. I'm telling you, all you got to do is just build a White House, like an Oval Office in his basement. He'll totally think that he's there. He'll totally think that he's just working hard every day, that he's down there making phone calls. It could be one of those like, the cow says, and he'll be like, don't talk to me like that about domestic issues. It's a joke. It's a joke. Welcome back into the show, radio, TV, live streaming, and podcasting. As he is working on his quote-unquote transition team, Bernie Sanders has come out, according to Fox News, and has made some comments how he is really, really angry that Biden is ignoring progressives getting hired into his administration. So while Joe Biden's working on trying to get some more people into his staff, into his cabinet, trying to work on this whole, thing, Bernie Sanders now really upset that, hey, he's just not hiring as many progressives as what he would like in order for the progressives to take hold of the party, which really begs the question, what's really going to happen? Let's just say, worst case scenario, Joe Biden does become president of the United States. I mean, we have Kamala Harris that is the most progressive person in the Senate, even more so than Bernie Sanders. And yet he's not hiring very many progressives in there as of right now. I mean, who knows what could happen? I guess they've offered maybe Bernie Sanders the opportunity to be Secretary of Labor. If that's the case, then, I mean, that would be interesting as he's trying to push for minimum wage hikes all over the nation and trying to push for more unionized power across the nation. I mean, that could be extremely dangerous. But Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, according to Fox News, leaders of the Democrats' left-wing party, are at risk of being excluded from senior ranks in President-elect Joe Biden's administration as the incoming president this is Fox News writing this, as the alleged potential incoming president balances the demands of his party's progressive base against the political realities of a narrowly divided Senate. Maybe that's what it comes down to. Just enough Republicans, maybe possibly potentially holding on to the majority in the Senate after the runoff in Georgia, that's going to keep things from going too far to the left, which is desperately needed. But why is he not holding on? I mean, I don't know. The big question is really going to be how much power is Joe Biden going to have over Kamala, and how long is he going to stay in that office if he gets the office for Kamala to not take over? Because if she gets elected and nominated as president after they cast him aside, then it is going to be the Elizabeth Warren. It is going to be the Bernie Sanders. It is going to be the Pete Buttigieg. It is going to be the Beto O'Rourke. It is going to be the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It is going to be the left-wing fringe of the party that is going to be taking over big time. It's going to be the new face of the Democrats as the socialist rise all over the place. And it's very dangerous nationwide for that type of leadership. But Joe Biden, why is he fighting it so hard? Does he really think that he is the leader of that party? Does he really think that he is actually taking hold as president? Does he really think that he's not being played to just cast him aside when he's done? Because maybe mindset-wise, he thinks that he's actually going to be president of the United States. Maybe he truly, honestly feels that. Maybe he doesn't think he's a pawn like we all thought he was. He legitimately thinks he's going to be running things. I say good luck with that.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HooserReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
The Hooser Media Network is way more than just the voice of reason. It's your source to find numerous different online talk shows, podcasts, TV, and radio programs, all in one simple online location for you. From political talk to health talk to whatever you may be interested in, we're here for you. And I tell you, it's growing every day. Catch Tracy Maxfield with her podcast, Engage, Educate, and Empower, discussing mental health issues in children and teenagers. From bullying, teenage suicide, addiction, ADHD, and so much more, learn from Tracy and her guests about symptoms, signs, and ways to talk to your children, plus so much more. Having battled depression, being the author of the internationally acclaimed book Escaping the Rabbit Hole, and being a retired nurse, Tracy is kind of the go-to on the subject. Make sure to find her on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, along with her website at tracymaxfield.com. Also, make sure to tune into the weekly podcast Jump, Pivot, and Roll with Shannon Stiles and Rachel Murphy. Taking that next big leap of faith is hard. Trying to write a book, maybe struggling with a relationship, looking to take that next big career step. What's stopping you? There's a lot of big questions there, and they're questions that Rachel and Shannon want to help with you each and every week. It's Jump, Pivot, and Roll on any of your favorite podcasting sites and on Facebook and YouTube. All of these shows and a heck of a lot more can be found on the Hooser Media Network Facebook and YouTube channels. Make sure to follow and subscribe to check them out today. Follow all the shows, and if you have any inquiries, check us out at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason, and I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hooser Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices. From iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn, make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network.
When Reason Meets Radio. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, welcome back into it. Radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Trying to cram that 10 pounds reason into that 5-pound bag. Trying to rebrand the millennial generation, one radio listener at a time. Your millennial general. Reporting for duty. Branded, that was coined by another radio host. We appreciate him, Mark Walters, Armed American Radio. Love that guy. As I've been on his show about once a week. We've been doing a weekly thing with his show. National, 250 stations all over the country on his. A little plug for Armed American Radio, as he's done so much for us as well. I love being able to fill in for his program and helping us expand our program all at the same time. Welcome into the show. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We have I don't know if you saw this or not, there was a post out of the Washington Post, and I got to give them credit for it. Republicans have elected a record number of women and minorities this last election. What? I just thought the Republican Party was all evil and hated women and minorities with Donald Trump, right? It's what they tell us anyways. Sometimes you just can't trust. I don't know who to trust. If you can't trust the mainstream media, who the heck can you trust? Yeah, let's see what's trending today. What do you say?
What's trending today?
So I'm excited to have our next guest on the show because as we continuously cover this investigation right now when it comes to the election fraud, we played some of the clips yesterday from Sidney Powell along with Rudy Giuliani yesterday from the press conference talking about what they're presenting to the courts here in the next couple of days. Can we pull this off? Is it legitimate, and does it go too deep for us to be able to do anything about, or will this be the big explosion when it comes to the voter integrity here in the nation? And I figured what better way to bring on anybody else than someone who, knows strategic communications along with, security issues here in the nation as our next guest. We've had him on a few times. I love talking to this guy. He's former National Security Counsel as the Director for Strategic Planning. He's also the president of HTG LLC, a strategic security and information warfare consulting service. He's also author of the book, The Memo, 20 Years Inside the Deep State Fighting for America First. It's Rich Higgins here on the show with us here. Rich, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, Andy, thanks for having me back.
Hey, it's always good to talk to you, my friend. You, being from the inside of this, seeing security issues, seeing some of the deep state that goes on in this nation, this is, I've stood back for a while watching some of these investigations, hearing about the Dominion server, hearing about this nationwide voter fraud, this widespread voter conspiracy, quote unquote, and it's almost hard to believe at times how deeply this runs. But after hearing the press conference yesterday and giving some information, giving some of the details and validating some of the stuff that we've been hearing, it goes so deep into the corruption trying to rig this election. My big question is it true? And are we going to be able to defeat this at the end of the day?
Well, I mean, the simple answer is yes, it's true, and I don't know. I mean, we have a long way to go in the fight. Whether we're talking about the informational fight, the political fight, the legal fight. I mean, it's a multi-front battle that the president now finds himself in, and he's got a pretty good team around him. I just think it's such a complicated political process. It's hard to understand exactly where things are going to break left and right in this whole thing.
It's unfortunate. I mean, it is so deep, and I mean, one mistake could, have some things right off. But I mean, Rudy Giuliani, according to him, he's very confident. He says that he's got enough proof of voter fraud in some of these swing states to more than double the numbers we need to flip these states back to President Donald Trump. We'll see if that actually happens. I really don't think that we can win cases of just because we weren't able to observe the counts, therefore we're going to cast those votes out or not let them count. I think that's a losing argument. What I've wanted to hear, and I heard a little bit of that yesterday, was from Sidney Powell with this Dominion server, when it sounds like many agencies have used this in the nation. Other countries have used this Dominion smart whatever software for counting. And I mean, if that is true and we actually have the servers in hand, we know the algorithms they were using, then to me at least, that would be at least the easy close and shut case of us winning this, proving that they manipulated the votes.
Yeah, look, I think, as somebody who's worked in the national security domain for a long time, there's a concept, we call it covert action, right? And covert action is surreptitiously interfering in a country's election process. Clear to me that somebody interfered in this. And the thing here that, both Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell have to consider is that we don't need to prove who did it. We just need to prove that something happened, right? We need to prove there's a body, it was murdered. We don't need to prove who did it, when, how, the motivation. We don't need to get into all that.
Sure.
And I think clearly there's an op here, and from my standpoint, there are three particular phases to the operation. You have the initial weird, 5 or 6 states all stopped counting at the same time. Then you had these, enormous skewed number of ballots come in. In Wisconsin, it was like 130,000 ballots come in for Biden.
Yeah.
And then you have, after that, in these 4 or 5 key states, a continuous flow of incoming votes that's 50-49 in favor of Biden for the rest of the count periods. I mean, those are all classic hallmarks proven by data science of a covert action that was attempting to influence the election.
Yeah, it's so weird, and it raises flags for everybody, which, I mean, I know they try to cover it up, they try and do what they can, but even with what Sidney Powell had mentioned yesterday, when some of the numbers were coming in, like to the T, the exact same number on numerous different precincts, 312,000, whatever for Joe Biden, 112,000 for Donald Trump, and it was the exact same numbers within a 20-minute window in multiple precincts in multiple states. I mean, for most people, that would seem a little fishy, wouldn't it?
Right. I mean, that's the thing here that really makes this so compelling, right? We all know that fraud takes place in elections. That just happens. I mean, Chicago, 1960, right? Kennedy. What we've never seen, I think, is the scale that we saw this time, where you have multiple states. Clearly, there was some sort of an organizational framework and conspiracy behind it. Somebody told those 4 or 5 states to stop their counts. They adjusted, whether they were using the Dominion voting system or not. I mean, it's clear to me that the conspiracy happened.
Yeah.
The mechanics and the tactics that they utilized inside of it, they'll show us, some bit of evidence. But I think that I think the evidence is overwhelming that something happened.
Well, yeah, and we just have to find a way to prove that case, as you mentioned, not who did it, but just that it happened enough to write some of this off. We're talking with Rich Higgins. You can find him on Twitter at @RichHiggins_DC. He's the author of the Memo, 20 Years Inside Deep State Fighting for America First. Let's shift gears a little bit to the media side of this. The media, since the day of the election, after the day of the election, it's done, it's over. Joe Biden won, and anybody that mentions it now outside of that or talks about Donald Trump's investigations, they're nothing but crazy, wackadoodle conspiracy theorists, and they need to be completely ignored. Yesterday's press conference was not held by the mainstream media. They didn't air it. In fact, social media tried to shut it off their social media outlets once the press conference was done, and now they're saying that Donald Trump is nothing more than a dictator wanting to just try and stay in power. How do you combat something like that when the media has such a stronghold on the persona in the public knowledge to where they've written it off so badly? I mean, is this almost incriminating itself just by how the media is acting?
I'm not a cop, but the term I would use is the media is a co-conspirator. in the fraud. And, just like they were a co-conspirator in the ongoing coup attempts and the subversion of the president for the past 5 years, they've just continued with this pattern of behavior. Then the other really scary thing to me is, in the past year and a half, we've seen Twitter, Facebook, and these social media big tech giants come in with a level of censorship that would make the Soviets blush. Yeah. And, it's just remarkable to me that they've been able to get away with it like they have with they laugh in the face of our Senate. They laugh in the face of our representatives. I mean, it's truly frightening.
It's very frightening. Let's talk. You've been in the deep state. You understand what goes on in the inner workings of the government. Let's talk about a potential Joe Biden administration when we're looking at a Kamala Harris as a vice president, one of the most progressive senators that we've had in our United States Senate, about potentially hiring someone like Bernie Sanders for the Department of Labor, or hiring on these crazy radical left-wingers to run some of these agencies. What would that do to the nation compared to where we stand right now?
I have to be honest with you. I'm terrified. If you were a Chinese dissident, would you spy for us in China right now? Knowing that this Chinese agent, is basically set to become the president. But I got to be honest with you, Andy. My personal opinion is that Biden won't ever see office, or if he does, it will be for a very short period of time. Kamala is the real person that the Obama network wants to install. She has the far left Marxist credentials, the San Francisco big tech ties. Her husband helps offshore work to China. She punches every ticket for them. Yeah.
No, it's true. That's really going to open up the Pandora's box for all of them on that side. It's unfortunate. We're talking with Rich Higgins. You can find him on Twitter, Rich Higgins _DC, author of the Memo, 20 years inside the deep state fighting for America First. We got just about a minute left. But one issue that's kind of gone to the wayside now, it was kind of the big October surprise right before the election, was the Hunter Biden laptop and the investigation there. Have you heard anything else on that? Are we still investigating this? Was that just the political ploy? And would that, if Joe Biden ended up becoming president, would that affect anything of the administration with an ongoing FBI investigation under Hunter Biden?
I honestly think that the FBI was perfectly content to let that roll right into a Biden administration, because then they would be in the power seat, right? They could push the president around at that point. That's how the deep state operates.
Wow. So they would use it for their own political gain. I thought that we'd actually have, some rational type of investigations here, but it doesn't sound like it.
Well, wait a second here. Have you been paying attention for the past 5 years, Andy?
Oh, man. It really disheartens me. Rich Higgins, we're out of time, my friend. Make sure to check it out, The Memo, 20 years inside deep state fighting for America First. Maybe we can get some legitimate investigations out of this. Maybe we can keep Joe Biden out of the White House and keep Donald Trump in. Until then, though, it's great to talk to you, my friend. Let's do this again real soon.
All right, take care, buddy.
Hey, always good to talk to you, my friend. That's Rich Higgins right there. We love chatting with that guy. Great insight on what's going on with the deep state and how we can continue to combat this. We'll wrap up here. When we come back, we'll shift gears a little bit, have a nice little lighthearted fun segment for the last segment here going into the weekend as we get ready for the Thanksgiving week next week. That'll be fun as well. It's the Voice of Reason right here on the Hooser Media Network. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HooserReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the voice of reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com.
Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. And I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hooser Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the program today. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites and have the show automatically downloaded to your phone or computer every single day. Just find us on any podcasting site or go to HooserReason.podbean.com. And be sure to check out our Patreon site, become the ultimate Hooserholic, and help us fight for conservative values every day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Now back to the national broadcast of the Voice of Reason.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into it. Thanks for hanging out today on a Friday. I know you got way better things to do on a Friday than listen to talk radio, but I know you're addicted. Once you get listening to it, you're addicted. You can't do anything about it, and we appreciate you hanging out with us every single day here on the show. Radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting, doesn't matter where you're at. You can find us all at Hooser Reason on social media. That's the handle, at Hooser Reason, Hooser Reason. Also online at HooserReason.com, as we are everywhere. Everywhere. You can't get away. We will be getting the show up on Rumble here soon as well, the alternative to YouTube. Right now we are streaming live on YouTube, but you can find our page at Hooser Reason on YouTube as well, which we're seeing some numbers increase, more people subscribing to that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. and we're not going to go away from that. I mean, at all. We're still going to be there. We're still going to have the presence. So keep following us on YouTube. Also, we are creating our Hooser Media Network YouTube channel, as well as we're going to be airing this show along with other shows as well, with some constant live streaming on the YouTube channel there. So you can find that one at Hooser Media. Just go to Hooser Media, Hooser Media. You can find that one, subscribe there as well. As we don't have much on it yet, but it's in the process. We are building an empire right now, which is really cool. I have so many cool things in the works. I know we keep teasing that, but we are in the midst of doing some really neat things with there. All right, I want to shift gears. It's a Friday. We're a little lighthearted, and I really want to try and drive home the point that the media is called this way too soon when it comes to the presidential election. We've had our voter fraud protection program from the Voice of Reason, our product line. We've also had our premature inauguration cure with elections that we had yesterday or last week with our Voice of Reason product line. So we've been focused on this. Now, I cannot take credit for this one. This is a guy that I follow on social media, and I have to play his bit. I heard it today, and I laughed out loud. I thought it was hilarious. And it is, if you've ever heard of him, JP Sears, as he has a Facebook and social media page where he just makes some funny skits as well. And for the sports-oriented individuals, this is the way to understand a little bit more on if you're sports-oriented, maybe a different way to think about how this election is actually played out. This is from JP Sears.
As the clock winds down, that concludes the first quarter, and the game is over. The left-wing Warriors are your new champions with a final score of 21-14.
What a hard-fought victory by the left-wing Warriors, your new champions over the disgraceful right-wing colluders.
Look at this footage of millions of people around the world celebrating the left-wing Warriors' big win. They are your new champions.
And here with us now is championship-winning quarterback Dan McDaniels. Dan, congratulations on the victory. How does it feel?
Thank you. But are you guys sure we won? The refs are telling us we still have to play.
No, don't pay attention to them. That's just inconsequential formality. Congrats on the big win.
Okay. It was a hell of a game, but we came out as the clear victors.
Now we can see that the colluders are refusing to leave the field, truly an embarrassment to the sport. Can you share your thoughts with us on this?
We won, okay? I mean, those guys were on top for a while, but if the colluders don't just accept defeat, this isn't going to look good for their legacy.
They're truly trashy humans. Congratulations on the win and being the new champions. As glorious of a day as this is for the sport of football, isn't it just embarrassing how the colluders are behaving?
It is. And as everyone at home can see by the score that we are clearly broadcasting, the colluders have lost. But now they're refusing to leave the field and accept defeat.
They're not only being sore losers, but what they're doing is crazy, dangerous, and seems like terrorist activity.
Now, it might be beneath us to even go here, but we've got colluder quarterback Josh McJosherson on for a post-game interview. McJosherson, why will you not admit defeat? What are you doing?
What? Because the game's not over. We still have 3 quarters left to play. I don't know what's going on here. What's going on is you lost. The Warriors have won. The game is over. No, it's not. The rules are you play 4 quarters of football and then the winners decide.
You have lost and everyone knows it. Will you vacate the field and concede defeat to the Warriors?
No. Why would I do that? Something strange is going on here. Like, we came back from timeout and then all of a sudden they had 10 more points on the board. Isn't it obvious that— Cut him off. Cut him off. In our good conscience, we can't let that kind of misinformation be broadcast.
The Warriors have won because we said they did. A truly inspiring story because we say it is. And because you now know that the Warriors are champions, you can't not believe it because you know that everyone else knows, and for you not to know would make you know that you're crazy.
Clearly. And that does it, America. The left-wing Warriors win the championship game with a final score of 28-14.
They are unquestionably your new champions.
And now's a good time to learn Mandarin.
Zaijian.
There it is. JP Sears. Appreciate that one. That was a good one. That's good stuff. You can follow him on social media at JP Sears. Appreciate it. All right. Podcast going up a little bit. We're back at it next week. Yes, we will be here all week except for Thanksgiving Day. Until then, it's the voice of reason. It's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. It's the voice of reason. I'm Andy Hooser. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.